Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something pretty wild, the astonishing parallels between two figures who are separated by literal centuries, but completely united by one incredible blueprint for changing the world. So let's start with a bit of a mystery. How on earth does a humble kid from colonial America share the exact same DNA for innovation as one of today's most, debated tech titans? I know, it sounds like a setup for a joke, but the historical record actually reveals this fascinating shared trajectory. Picture this. On one side, we have Benjamin Franklin, an 18th century founding father, armed with a kite, a key, and a frankly dangerous curiosity for electricity. And on the other, Elon Musk, the 21st century entrepreneur wielding reusable rockets and electric cars. We're talking about two radically different eras, yet they have completely identical mentalities. Part 1. Architects of the impossible. Now, the crucial point to understand here is that being a visionary isn't just about, having good ideas on paper. As our sources point out, it's a relentless, almost crazy willingness to challenge reality itself. It's betting everything, time, safety, fortune, on what might become possible rather than just settling for what society already accepts as a given. It literally requires a fundamental rejection of comfort and the status quo. Part 2. The curious beginnings. Both of these guys actually started out as intensely curious, introverted kids. Young Elon, born in South Africa, was known to read up to 10 hours a day, just completely buried in science fiction, encyclopedias, and early computers. And centuries prior, a young Franklin in colonial America was much the same, an awkward apprentice with an insatiable appetite for reading and tinkering. Both of them showed this massive drive to decode the world around them way before they even reached adulthood. And Musk rapidly turned that childhood curiosity into tangible reality. At just 12 years old, he coded and sold a space game called Blastar. Then, as a young adult, he founded Zip2 and later X.com, which eventually evolved into PayPal. When eBay bought PayPal, Musk walked away with a massive fortune. Now, that is the exact moment most people would have just bought a private island, taken a long vacation, and happily retired, right? Part 3. Risking it all. But instead of protecting that new wealth, Musk poured it into ideas the public thought were utterly ridiculous. His ultimate goal? To make humanity a multi-planetary species. Because traditional rockets were prohibitively expensive, he founded SpaceX with what seems like an impossible mission: to build reusable rockets and drastically slash the cost of spaceflight. But reality hit hard. 3. That is the number of consecutive rocket failures SpaceX endured. 3 multi-million-dollar rockets just gone in flashes of smoke over the Pacific. These back-to-back disasters pushed the company and Musk's personal fortune to the absolute brink of total collapse. Musk was literally days away from bankruptcy before a miraculous fourth launch finally reached orbit. This desperate, high-stakes gamble perfectly mirrors the perilous exploration Benjamin Franklin undertook centuries earlier. Franklin literally risked being electrocuted during his groundbreaking kite and key experiments in a thunderstorm just to harness lightning. Both men faced the very real threat of total ruin, whether financial or physical, but they pushed through anyway. Part 4. Lighting up the future. Okay, let's look at this incredible parallel. Franklin tamed electricity for modern civilization by inventing the lightning rod. Centuries later, Musk took on the modern application of electricity with Tesla. At a time when electric cars were mocked as glorified golf carts, slow, impractical, and ugly, Musk demanded they be fast, beautiful, powerful, and eventually ordinary enough for everyone to drive. But the journey was brutal. Tesla faced absolute manufacturing nightmares and intense financial bleed. In fact, Musk was known to sleep on the factory floor just to troubleshoot the production line. At one terrifying point during the 2008 financial crash, both SpaceX and Tesla were running out of cash simultaneously. But through sheer persistence and the clutch, last-minute NASA contract that saved SpaceX, they kept pushing. Slowly, the impossible started looking inevitable. Part 5. Betting on the impossible. Success didn't slow Musk down. Actually, it only expanded his ambitions into wildly diverse, futuristic fields. He dove headfirst into artificial intelligence, brain-computer interfaces, high-speed transit, satellite internet, and eventually social media platforms. And as you might expect, with this massive, sprawling empire came a tidal wave of public scrutiny. Consequently, Musk has become one of the most polarizing figures in modern tech. He's fiercely praised as a savior of humanity by some and sharply criticized for his immense, unpredictable influence by others. But just like Benjamin Franklin and the Founding Fathers, whose legacies were also fiercely debated in their time, we aren't here to take a side. We're just here to observe the undeniable mark he is leaving on technology. Ultimate judgment belongs to history.
So, what drives someone to push through failure and global criticism? Well, according to our sources, when the rockets explode, the funds dry up, and the world calls you crazy, a true visionary asks one simple question: what if they're wrong? It's a fundamental refusal to accept the boundaries set by others. Think about it. Benjamin Franklin gave us the lightning rod and laid the groundwork for modern science. Elon Musk gave us mainstream electric vehicles and the reality of landing and reusing rockets. Whether you're standing in colonial America looking up at the sky or in modern Silicon Valley looking at the stars, the drive to push humanity forward remains identical. It's all about betting on what might become possible. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. The story of progress isn't written by those who simply have all the answers from the start. The future rarely belongs to those who play it safe. So, will you play it safe, or are you crazy enough to bet on the impossible? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you next time.